Welcome to the Courtroom Chronicles, Trials of South Africa. My name is Busisiwe Mohabi, in case you didn't know. And welcome, if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Yesterday we broke down, happy birthday. I don't start any episode without saying that. Those who are new, I will tell you later why, but yes. And just a disclaimer before I start, if reading my script, the one that I've prepared myself, and I'm avoiding to repeat myself because I have a traumatic brain injury where I was injured on my head 9 years ago. I tend to repeat myself, and I know I don't have to explain this, but I am explaining it. I want to. I tend to repeat myself, I forget, so I need to read something. And if that irritates you, then maybe this channel is not for you. You can scroll through. But for those who find value and enjoy my content, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for coming back. And without wasting any time, let us get into it. So yesterday we broke down the crime intelligence scandal and the players that are involved. Today we're zooming in on what Paul Salvian has said, the forensic consultant who has been one step ahead of the rot in our justice system. He's calling out two powerful men, crime intelligence boss Dumisani Khumalo and the National Police Commissioner Fannie Masemola. And what is he saying? It's not just tea, it is evidence, and we were just going to get into it just now. So let's start here. Paul said, who is Paul? Let us start with that. Paul is a seasoned forensic consultant and criminologist. This isn't some loud guy on Twitter. He's been on the trenches. He's taken on corrupt cops, dirty lawyers, and shady politicians. And he doesn't just talk, he investigates. He builds cases, he hands them over. He's the founder of the Forensics for Justice, an organization that literally dedicated to exposing abuse in the criminal justice system. When Paul speaks, it's not noise, it's a warning. So let us get into it and find out what Paul has said. So according to Paul, Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo turned crime intelligence into his personal network. He says that he hasn't done better from the person who was in charge before. He says that he's not treating this as a department, not a law enforcement unit, but he's treating it like a family business. Positions were not earned, they were handed out. No sergeant, no constable, you just go straight to being a brigadier. If you had the right connections, then this was possible for you. And instead of doing crime intelligence and tracking criminals, networks, and stopping syndicates, he says that they were going on international trips funded by you and me, which is the taxpayer. And he also goes on now and talks about this international trip that we are talking about here. He makes an example, that one example being the infamous trip to Japan. He says this trip was framed as a drug trafficking conference, but according to Paul, it was nothing more than a vacation. He calls it that. He says a major general who had no background in narcotics went along. He had no business going there, but he went along. He says why? Not because of his expertise, but because of access. Meanwhile, back home, we have real drug problems here. It's killing communities. The SAPS leadership is on holiday and they went to Japan and they had a nice time. So that is what he said. So who is Ufa? Okay, before we get to that, what is the teachable moment that we get here? Is that this is the cost of mismanagement. That is basically what he was telling us. That when unqualified people are appointed, they not only fail, they displace those who could have done the work. And that's how crime wins. When you have the wrong people in the right places, then things are not done correctly. And people, they mismanage things, finances and other things. So that is the teachable moment that we got there. So now let's talk about the man who Paul says he's protecting all of this. He said he's part of the problem, actually, because instead of solving issues, he is part of the problem. This is why he said he's probably. He said the National Police Commissioner Fannie Masemola, the most powerful cop in the country, the man who could have and still can suspend every accused officer in this case, but he hasn't. He said he has given him until Monday to do this. If not, there will be consequences. Masemola was appointed in 2022. At the time, there were already questions about his background. So he said he did some vetting. Remember yesterday I spoke about vetting. What is vetting? It's checking background, checking all of these things. So Paul says that he did that. He went and did a thorough check and found that Masemola was living beyond his means. He was borrowing from Peter to Paul, using what Paul calls a revolving door credit. So you go and borrow 100 rand from Ubusi to go and pay Mbali, and then you use what Mbali. This is what he was saying. I just thought of myself. But anyway, this is not about me. It's about this. Let's carry on. So now he says that why Masemola must suspend the 6. So, and why he hasn't. He told us. He said of the 7 accused, one of them, the CFO Upilani Lushaba, is still behind bars. As we know, I did mention this yesterday that he didn't get bail. The other 6 did, but he's still behind bars. He says the other 6 are out on 10K bail. And he says it's technically, why would people who earn so much should be out on 10,000? It's too small. And he said he could technically walk back into the SAPS building today because of how little they gave. And he also says that it is dangerous. He gave Masemola a deadline. He said, suspend these officers by Monday or face high court application. He said, I will do it. Because these people are not just suspects, they are high-ranking officers. And they can still influence systems, they can still destroy evidence and intimidate staff. So why he hasn't acted, Masemola, Paul hinted that it's a culture of protection. People shielding each other because they are all part of the same dirty network. So what is a teachable moment that we get here again is that suspending someone doesn't mean they are guilty. It's about protecting the integrity of the process. When a teacher is accused of misconduct, they are suspended until they are investigated. Some doctors, nurses, or even corporate leaders. So why not do it to generals in the SAPS? In your workplace, you know someone who was suspended because they were still investigating. He said this is not different from SAPS. The same thing should happen. So let us get now to the second last segment of the video, the Louis Vuitton scandal. Louis Vuitton and trust issues. He says there's more. Paul brings up the infamous Louis Vuitton bag, allegedly which was gifted to Masemola's wife by a police supplier. That alone says it triggered investigation. Instead, it got swept under the rug. And how is a police leader with questionable finances? Do you remember what I said about borrowing from Bali to pay Paul or from Paul to pay? Yeah. He said he has questionable finances and a luxury gift scandal that is supposed to clean the house. You can't demand accountability when you are avoiding it yourself. So he's saying he's part of the problem. Yeah. Fannie Masemola is part of the problem. So he also mentioned that this part. He said that 2 of the accused, remember there are 7 who are accused, said 2 of them are still being driven around with blue light convoys like VIPs. He says even though they've been arrested for corruption, they still have bodyguards, they still have flashing lights, they have full motorcades, while the rest of the country is struggling. Paul calls this a complete abuse and public funds. He says this is abuse of public funds, and if you ask me, he's right. So someone mentioned in the comments, I saw something that he said that these people will be suspended with full pay. That's another argument for another day, or discussion for another day. What is the teachable moment that we get here is that blue light convoys aren't just flashy, they're expensive. It's not something that happens free. And also that they signal power, and that when used by the corrupt, when they're used by people who have questionable characters, they become symbols of impunity. It's like a badge that says, I'm untouchable. So the question is, are these people untouchable? Do you think that they will get away with it? Because already in the comment section, some of you have said that you will make noise for just a few months. This will be over and they will do their jobs and nothing will happen to them. And I'm sure these people who are saying all these things are people who have seen things happening before. And Mr. Paul Salvian has made it clear: suspend them or face the court. And if Masemola doesn't act by Monday, he says he will act. He will act. It won't just be the generals on trial. It will be him too. He will join them. So South Africans are tired of watching justice being delayed and denied. People are tired of seeing powerful people getting bail while whistleblowers live in fear. And it's time to ask, who is the system protecting and who is being failed? Who is being protected and who is being failed? I think this is a very important question. And one man can't clean up the police, but he can expose what is wrong. And for that, Paul O'Sullivan deserves our attention, and we were listening to him. Not because of his skin color, because of the evidence that speaks louder than race, than rank, and reputation. And this is what I think. So if you care about real justice, not just headlines, please share the video. Hit the notification button, subscribe, like the video as well. Please watch the ads from beginning to end. That's how you support us as content creators. And also, please, keep on watching from beginning to end. It helps us a lot. And with that being said, until the next one, God bless you. Bye.